This is Josh Hart here from SecondsOut with some sad news to bring you today. Heavyweight boxing legend George Foreman sadly passed away yesterday at age 76 years old. Our condolences to all who knew him. George had a fantastic career, firstly going all the way to win the gold medal at the 1968 Summer Olympics in Mexico City, winning 3 of his 4 fights by stoppage, finishing his amateur career with a record of 22 wins and 4 defeats, and that heavyweight gold medal around his neck. Foreman turned professional in 1969. Having 13 fights in his first year as a professional, he won them all, with 11 of his opponents failing to hear the final bell. The following year in 1970, he had 12 fights with another 11 stoppages added to his record, another 7 fights in 1971, winning all inside the distance. George was ranked number 1 by the WBA and WBC. With a record of 32-0, he was more than ready for a world title shot. On January 22, 1973, Foreman challenged the formidable Joe Frazier, putting on a brutal display and shockingly stopping Frazier inside 2 rounds. As a 3-1 underdog heading into the fight, Foreman would not be denied, dropping Frazier 6 times within the contest before getting stopped in the second round. He went on to successfully defend the title twice before running into Muhammad Ali on 30th of October 1974 in the historic clash known as Rumble in the Jungle. It wasn't George's night, as Ali employed his now infamous rope-a-dope strategy en route to an 8th round stoppage. Foreman returned in 1976, racking up the wins before running into Jimmy Young, losing by unanimous decision. After the fight, he fell ill from exhaustion and heat stroke. He spoke of seeing hellish things and pled with God, saying it was a sign that God was asking him to change his ways. George never announced a formal retirement, but he stopped in 1977 and later became an ordained minister, dedicating his life to God. 10 years on, in 1987, George Foreman announced he would be returning to the ring, citing spreading the Lord's word as a key motivating factor. Following 24 fights and 24 wins between 1987 and 1990, George would fail in his first 2 chances at regaining the heavyweight championship. It proved to be 3rd time lucky in November of 1994, as despite being far behind WBA and IBF champ Michael Moorer on the card, Foreman uncorked a short right hand on his opponent's chin in round 10, sending him down and out. At 45 years old, George Foreman set a record for the oldest winner of the heavyweight world title. A year later, he would be the oldest holder of that belt. George fought on 4 separate occasions after this, before retiring in 1997 for good, with his final fight being against a young, hungry Shannon Briggs, in which he lost by majority decision. Post-retirement, George excelled at commentary and became a spokesperson for a new fat-reducing appliance, the George Foreman Grill, with George ultimately getting paid $138 million for the commercial rights. George was not only just a fantastic fighter, but a fantastic person as well, inspiring many people around the world with his stories both in boxing and in dedicating his life to God. May he rest in eternal peace. Radio Raheem was lucky enough to sit down and talk with George Foreman one-to-one on the 28th of February 2014. Here I will now play you the full interview with one of the greatest heavyweights of all time.
Radio Raheem here with George Foreman. George, we're out here in San Antonio. Obviously, you're going to be a part of this broadcast. We haven't seen you ringside as much as most people would like. Tell us what you're going to be doing ringside this time.
This time I'm part of the promotion. I came in with my boys, Foreman Boys Production. I'm following them for a chance. I get a chance to watch these fights and not be in them. Really lovely. And these are great boxing matches. I had a chance to help as part of the promotion team to put the fight together. So, Chavez Jr., strong fighter, and Vera, he's come here to really get an upset.
Now, we've noticed that's a trend in boxing lately of ex-fighters getting into the promotion game. Obviously, you're a huge name in the ring, outside the ring. What made you decide that promotion was the way for you to go?
Well, it's a family business. No, I don't care. I've been in it for years. I've tried to get my son to box. One of them did pretty well. Then he decided, no, I'm a college man. I quit. And then all of a sudden, I wanted to keep the family involved in boxing. Why not promotion?
Now, why not ringside? Everybody loves to hear your commentary, your thoughts. Obviously, you have an expert and a unique perspective. Why didn't you stay on the mic?
I did it for 13 years, and I looked up, I said, you know what? This is a job. That's the reason I went to boxing. But 13 years of it, I loved it and enjoyed it, but now to be on the promotional end is better for me.
Now, what do you look for in a fighter? You know, being a promoter, you have to look with a different eye. It's not like you're looking for opponents. You're looking for guys who can, make you some money and take that stardom the distance. When you see fighters in the gym, you're scouting. What are you looking for?
You're looking for fighters who really Well, they only back up to just ball their fists up and come after you with it. That's the only reason they back up. And when you find two fighters like that and you can match them together, you got genuine stardom and boxing matches that people will be talking about for ages. But if you find two of them that one runs one way and the other runs the other, then you got trouble.
Now, obviously, this is a top-ranked promotion. Are you and Bob working together down the line? Is this just a one-off?
Yeah, no, we've been working together. It's called George for Top Rank, co-promoter with Foreman Boys Production.
Oh, good. So now, looking back, in the annals of history, there are few fighters, especially heavyweights, that can be at your age, having accomplished what you did, and still have their faculties about them, be able to be successful in business. When you look back, you see the Ali movies, are out. Sugar Ray Leonard's another one who's been able to be successful post-fight career. Where's your movie? When are we going to hear the George Foreman story?
Look, you don't want to write a story until you let them write them after you're dead and gone. I got too much to write. Too much to put in the book right now. And I want to continuously with my life. And there's not a whole lot of tragedy involved with my life, so it doesn't make a whole lot of good stories anyway. This the George Foreman stories, look, I wanted to be written when I'm about 120 years old.
That's right. When you, interact with, or do you interact with, like, Ali, before Frazier's passing, did you guys keep in touch at all? It's just
great friends. All of us were great friends. We loved one another. Didn't know how important we were to one another until we started losing one. Kenny Nord and all of that. We realized we were really kings. We had a lot. And now we're trying to stay alive now.
Now, before I let you go, obviously you've been a world champion boxer, you've been a successful commentator, now you're a promoter, and you've been a businessman setting records with your grill. Which career was most satisfying overall?
Boxing, that's where I started. I wanted to be a boxer when I was little. I was trying to find my niche. I found boxing, something that I really fit in with, and I've never forgotten it.
George, with all these fighters coming up, they're always looking for guidance, looking to see, what can separate them from the other guy. With this new generation, what would you say would be a bit of advice you could impart? What should guys could learn from George Foreman's career to take their career to the next level?
The most important thing is to understand that boxing is only a small part of your life. Do as best you can in the sport, but don't mess up the future by saying and doing stupid things. If I can tell them that, just wait, be patient, and once your boxing day's over, you surely got another 70 years to live.
Thank you, George. Really appreciate it with the living legend, George Foreman.
Nice, beautiful day to